Hello, this is Malcolm McDowell. In a world built on stories where heroes rise, villains fall, and meaning hides between the frames, one podcast has dared to explore it all. From galaxies far away to quiet corners of small-town coffee houses, they've sought the truth hidden in pop culture's pulse. The laughter, the light, and the lessons buried beneath the spectacle. This is Pop Culture Pastor.
Pop Culture Pastor.
So Cody, say, is this hot? It doesn't seem hot. It's not too loud.
No.
Okay. So Cody, this is like the beginning of that Eminem song. How come I can't hear myself in the microphone, in my headphones? Turn me up in my headphone. No.
Lose yourself.
Except he sounds cooler.
In the music.
Yeah.
Completely different song.
This is Pop Culture Pastor, the podcast. My name is Dave. Cody is here.
I am.
And I was going to say something about yesterday. My daughter had her 18th birthday. My oldest daughter turned 18. And that's a weird feeling. Because I don't feel old, especially when I come in and do a podcast like this, where I feel kind of goofy and silly, and I talk about movies and frivolous things.
K-pop Demon Hunter.
So yeah, it's kind of strange, but especially when I've got another kid who could be born any day. That's quite a gap.
It is a gap.
Yeah, but we're blessed. We're blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
It is. It is a blessing. Hello. Welcome, everybody. The one and only news item we have today, Cody, is an interesting one. Apparently there was some sort of event where it was just Timothée Chalamet and Adam Sandler on a stage.
Sandman.
To his close personal friends like Cody, yes.
Yes.
Joined for a conversation just about their careers and crafts in the Fairfax High School gym in Los Angeles, according to Variety.com.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, and so they just got together and they said some interesting things, which, first of all, it's just a weird pairing, right?
They're both Knicks fans.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Chalamet straight up calls Adam Sandler one of the best actors ever. That's already kind of going viral. That's people heard about that.
Eat your heart out, Denzel.
What do you think about that? Do you agree with that? He specifically ties it to Punch Drunk Love, which is kind of one of the great left turn performances in cinema. Like, just kind of out of nowhere.
And I feel like me, Timothy, and 5 other people watched it. And so we don't have that many to share it with. But I do think comedic actors, he's definitely on the Mount Rushmore of that. Now, overall actors, probably not. But I think he makes the list if you're going with actors of his generation. Just because longevity. There's been some variety to his career, even though we know what his wheelhouse is. But I think that, because I don't think he hasn't won an Oscar.
No.
So he might be on the short list of best actors not to win an Oscar.
There was like some of the like cursory buzz around Punch Drunk Love, but I don't think it ever got serious run. If that makes sense. Yeah, like, does that make sense?
Yes.
What I'm saying? Like, there were people that were talking about it when it came out, but I don't know if it ever got serious opportunity. And then they kind of looked at Sandler as a serious actor as more of a meme. It was more of a meme back then.
Yeah.
But people liked Punch Drunk Love, and they praised him for that performance. And now you've got one of the most important young actors in the industry calling him one of the all-timers. Has Sandler quietly become one of the most versatile actors of our generation?
Evidently delivers knockout performance in Uncut Gems.
Yeah, so like now he's kind of added to that. There is a character arc for this, right? The comedic actor renaissance arc. Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, and now Sandler.
Which, like, for a while, I mean, I'm guilty of making this joke, but anytime Adam Sandler made a new movie, I just called it, Adam Sandler wants to go on vacation with his friends and get paid.
He certainly makes those.
Yes.
Yeah. But they're entertaining. I mean, like, look, say everything you want about those. What were the movies with where they go to the camp, or not camp, but
Grown-ups?
Grown-ups, yeah. Say what you want about those movies, but they weren't not fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
They're ridiculous, but they were fun to watch. And yeah, those were, he basically openly said in interviews, I just made those movies so I could hang out with the people I liked. And yeah, it's good stuff. Sandler returned the praise to Chalamet, saying that he sees him as a torchbearer of actual film acting in the quote unquote blockbuster era.
I agree.
Two actors from completely different cinematic areas recognizing the same craft in each other. That's kind of cool. Why does this pairing work so strangely well? Like, they should do a movie together, right?
I'm hoping that this leads to that. Also, it's like the sweet and salty.
Yeah. It and the location is perfect. It's not at the Academy Museum. It's not at a film festival. It was in a high school gym, which just sort of is perfect. It's like chef's kiss. It feels intentionally like kind of low key, charming, and seems like it would be out of a movie that Adam Sandler would be in, right?
Punch Drunk Love 2.
Both stars, as you said, like basketball.
Yes.
So they like being in a gym. Yeah. Which celebrity would you want to play pickup basketball with Sandler? It seems like that would be fun.
Yeah, because he also is not afraid to pass you the rock. He doesn't hog the ball.
Yeah.
And, I mean, after I toss up a couple bricks, he might, but I'm getting the ball early on.
Sandler likes to pass, man. He likes dishing out the assist.
And right now, I feel like I'm dressed like Adam Sandler.
You are kind of, I don't know what's going on here. You're wearing like a hoodie with the hood up in the studio around your headphones. And I thought about saying something, but I was just going to move on.
With basketball shorts.
With basketball shorts, yeah. I
It's
mean,
what my friend Adam would do.
well, casual Thursday,
Yes.
just like casual Wednesday, and probably casual Friday.
Tuesday, Monday. I mean, any day of the week, really.
Did you see Chalamet's performance in the Bob Dylan movie? Did you happen to check that movie out?
No.
I haven't either. I'm waiting for digital.
I don't know. Bob Dylan is kind of a conflicting individual for me. So,
Oh, let's hash that out. Let's get to the bottom of that. That sounds interesting. What do you mean?
at times he's pretentious.
Well, yeah.
And like
Geniuses often are.
he definitely is a musical genius, but like 99.9% of all other musical geniuses, after a while, you're like, okay, you haven't done anything lately.
Yeah. Well, he is getting old.
I prefer your son's music.
Jacob, the Wallflowers?
Yeah, the Wallflowers.
Are you serious right now? Did you like the Wallflowers?
At least 2 songs.
I'm on Cinderella, one headlight.
Yep, that's one of them.
It was catchy. I'll admit it. I didn't turn it off when it came on the radio back in the day.
Yeah, and he seems like a cool cat as well.
So Chalamet went on to say that Adam Sandler's performance in Punch Drunk Love was one of the most important performances. It's impactful. It's deeply moving. And as a young actor, knowing you, Adam, for his comedic work, seeing that thrown against the context of your other work, I'm like, wow, this is a explicative, incredible actor. I hope I can give a performance like this.
I think my friend Timmy has done that.
Yeah. Is there video of this? I'd love to see this on YouTube or something. Just these two guys talking about their craft.
I feel there's a clip at least.
Yeah. I'm going to have to check that out. All right. Anything else, Cody, we want to talk about before we get to our movie review?
Allegedly. And this is from a scooper. But Green Lanterns has been pushed back a handful of weeks.
No!
Although James Gunn never said when it was ever going to come out, except early 2026. And so now it's later early 2026.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking right at it. Superherohype.com. Lanterns release delayed. New premiere window set for show. During a press presentation on Thursday, Casey Bloys, chairman and CEO of HBO and HBO Max, revealed that Lanterns will premiere toward the end of summer 2026.
Oh, my goodness.
What in the world? It's not looking good for James Gunn's DC universe, is it?
I think it still is looking okay until we find out who is buying the Max.
And that's
or
what I
HBO.
mean. Not because of the content. It's just there's this weird stuff going on around it that there's a lot of rumbling that it could have a negative impact on what they're doing.
Although the DC portion of HBO / Discovery / Warner Brothers / whatever else is attached to it is probably lower on the pecking order than some things. So I don't know if I expect immediate turnover, even if it's someone that is like, we're not James Gunn fans.
Yeah. Yeah, so it says Lanterns will come out now after Supergirl and before Clayface.
Which I think that I had read that it was going to be after Supergirl anyway, so I had already prepared myself for that.
Okay, so Supergirl, yeah.
Which I finished that graphic novel, by the way.
Oh, yeah, the one it's based on.
Yes.
Supergirl comes out June 26th, according to this article. Clayface on September 11th. So Lanterns end of July. So I'm looking for it. I'm most excited about Lanterns, although I'm kind of excited about Supergirl because I feel like Supergirl's never really something that's been done well on the screen. All apologies to the 80s version and also the CW series.
And the Flash version.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. That was the CW version.
No.
What Flash? What are you talking about? The Flash with Grant Gustin?
No.
The
movie, The Flash.
Oh, yeah. I blocked that out from my mind. Because it was so bad.
Supergirl was the best part of the whole movie, potentially, besides the mom scene at the end of the movie.
He's not wrong. The Supergirl setup in that movie was awesome. It was like taking Red Sun Superman, but making it Red Sun Supergirl.
Yes.
I was here for it. It's good stuff. Okay. Before we get to our movie review, I just want a couple housekeeping notes here. I do have a kid due anytime, so we might not have a show next week.
Sorry.
Just to keep you on your toes. Be ready for that.
I can't do it all.
He cannot. But I wanted to remind you that there's a post up right now for your favorite pick three Christmas songs on our social media, Facebook and Instagram. Go find that post and give me 3 Christmas songs because we're building Spotify playlists if you haven't figured this out.
Look at us go.
Yeah. And so we already made one Spotify playlist for all the songs that would play at our funerals.
Rest in peace.
Which is nice and cheery. It's songs for the end credits of our lives. Go find that. Follow it on Spotify. And also, we got a lot of merch out there.
I was going to say, there's 2 new Christmas shirts.
Our Christmas shirts, we got a Die Hard Christmas shirt with a guy who looks similar to Bruce Willis crawling through an air duct. And it says, "Welcome to the Christmas party, pal."
Which is very nice this time of season.
And then we also have our Christmas shirt that's more Grinch themed, which has bending Christmas tree, and it says, "Perhaps Christmas means just a little bit more."
And here I was thinking it was a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Well, it could double as that too. It's basically the same tree. But the quote is from The Grinch.
It definitely is from The Grinch.
All right. We saw The Running Man.
Which is a move I have done off the high dive 1,000 times.
I thought you were going to be like the MC Hammer dance. Vanilla Ice. That Running Man. No?
No.
Okay. We're going to talk about the movie when we come back. Greetings. Dave's Blurb Voice here. In a world where we do movie reviews on a podcast, you need to be aware that we are going to spoil the nerd out of this movie. We know that spoilers aren't everyone's cup of tea. So if that's you, go ahead and hit pause, see the movie, and then come back and listen to this thrilling podcast later. The Pop Culture Podcast movie review starts now. All right, Cody, it's time to visit the atmosphere and environment of future dystopian fictional story, The Running Man by Stephen King. This movie, not really a reboot of the 1980s Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, because the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie was more 80s and more Arnold.
And also was more contained because they were on a budget.
Explain.
That it wasn't as wide world open, and that Arnold said that they had to dial it in and alter the book.
Yeah.
Because they had a smaller budget for this particular movie.
So like they had to film in studios because the Arnold movie presupposes that the game show takes place in like these catacombs underneath the theater.
Yes.
Right. That just kind of made to look like the real world in some ways. But what we have here is a film directed by Edgar Wright, written by Edgar Wright and Michael Bacall, based on a 1982 story by Stephen King, written under his Richard Bachman pseudonym, which we've talked about a lot recently. We talked about that with The Mist.
We did.
We've briefly mentioned The Long Walk, which was in theaters and apparently is quite good.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it also was his acting name for Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, okay, right. This is the second film adaptation of the book the story as we've just talked about. First one coming out in 1987 starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, but
that's a quick turnaround. Like 5 years after it's released.
Yeah, well, it was just a perfect vehicle for the action movies that we put out back then. Like when you think about Arnold Schwarzenegger's Running Man, I assume you've seen this movie.
It's been a few moons, but yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time, but it is a quintessential 80s action vehicle for like Arnold, Sly, whoever. Like it is just perfectly set up for that. And it felt like that. Like that movie feels like that. And when we say that this is not a remake of that film, that the intention to this one was to be much more faithful to the original story, you'll understand that like when we get into this, that like, oh yeah, that movie became more of just your standard Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It still had a little bit of the message like of what they were trying to say there, but obviously this movie hits it much harder.
I find it funny that Arnold takes these roles that are supposed to be like everyday men.
Yeah.
And he does not look like an everyday man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird because Sylvester Stallone is like a machine in most of his roles.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, you don't want to run into this guy because he's straight up freakish. Meanwhile, Arnold Schwarzenegger is like, Oh, by night he's a CIA, the top spy in the world, but by day he's a furniture salesman who was born and raised in America. Yes, I was born and raised right here in the United States.
And can be so covert with all those muscles.
I think that was what cracked me up the most is like, yeah, he'd be in one of these everyman roles, Arnold would, and they would never explain why he has this thick Austrian accent.
And his twin did not have it.
Danny DeVito, right. One of the coolest, well, first of all, let's finish the basic information here. Runtime 133 minutes, so it's a decently long movie. Budget of only 110 million, Cody.
I'm not shocked because I don't think that Edgar Wright, like, he has a cult following. I just don't think he does huge box office numbers typically.
So one of the coolest things Edgar Wright did here is sprinkle the movie with little DNA, Stephen King DNA strands, right? If you're paying attention, you're going to catch subtle nods to the original story, not the Schwarzenegger movie, but even a few winks to King's larger world. It's kind of funny to look back on this now. Like we watched The Mist. They had like the gunslinger reference in there, the Dark Tower. This movie, there literally is a part of the story taking place in Derry, Maine, which the show Welcome to Derry is on HBO right now. And
really good.
Yeah, and it's about obviously the character that takes place in his novel, It, Pennywise the clown. So like, was he the first real multiverse connected universe?
He did it well. If he wasn't the first, he was definitely a trailblazer.
Yeah. So there's a lot of Easter eggs in this movie, and I won't pretend like I caught them all. YouTube, go find it on YouTube. That's what YouTube's for.
Yes.
Someone will have like all 568 Easter eggs from The Running Man, and then you can check it out. But we've got Glen Powell. We've got Lee Pace. We've got Katie M. O'Brien, who we've seen a lot recently. Michael Cera is also in this movie. Coleman Domingo is in this movie. Josh Brolin. Lots of cool actors. It's a great cast. Sean Hayes even shows up.
I was going to say, I'm like, hey, it's that guy from Will and Grace.
Daniel Ezra plays our YouTube guy, Bradley, in the movie, which is kind of a cool subplot going on while we do it. But 66% on Rotten Tomatoes. Here's the blurb. You ready for this?
Yes.
In the near future, The Running Man is the top-rated show on television. A deadly competition where contestants must survive 30 days while being hunted by professional assassins. Desperate for money to save his sick daughter, Ben Richards is convinced by the show's ruthless producer to enter the game as a last resort. Ratings soon skyrocketed as Ben's defiance, instincts, and grit turned him into an unexpected fan favorite, as well as a threat to the entire system.
Oh, snap.
So let's talk about the original story for a second, because I feel like, listen, we're going to have two kinds of listeners to this pod that were old enough to remember the old Arnold movie, which is kind of just stands by itself.
Yep.
And then listeners that are too young who aren't going to really relate to that. So when we talk about it being closer to the book, I want them to know like what the original story looks like.
And I was going to say, there's a third group of listeners that are like, I read the book 100 times.
Yeah, well, right. Yeah, I don't want to skip over them. Right. I forget that there's people that are like actual intellectuals, not like us.
My wife has read this story, whether it's a short story or a book. I don't know. I haven't read it. Clearly.
The book is dark science fiction, social commentary, manhunted by the system story. It's a metaphor for poverty, media control, and desperation. Tone-wise, it's much closer to George Orwell than like Arnold, than Predator, and movies like that.
Yes.
So you have Ben Richards, who's not a jacked action hero. He's a broke, out-of-work family man with a sick daughter. And in this movie, Glen Powell plays Richards, and he's more grounded. He's more flawed.
Although There is a shirtless scene, and you're like, also, not everyday man.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because in a lot of ways, what I want to say about Glen Powell, and even in his performance in this movie, is I think he's like fully taking the mantle of Bruce Willis, the everyman action hero. So Bruce, remember when Die Hard hits? It's smack dab in the center of Arnold and Sly Stallone superiority.
Yes.
And action heroes are cartoonish and huge and rippling muscles. And then what makes Bruce Willis so awesome and Die Hard so awesome, he's an everyday dude.
With no special abilities, really.
Yeah.
Not until the second one, and then we have all the abilities.
But he's super charming, was Bruce Willis, and that's where I think Glen Powell has a lot in common with Bruce Willis. He can be this like everyday guy, albeit a little too jacked. I mean, yeah, that shirtless scene, I'm like, I don't know anybody in my normal life around me in this town that looks like that.
This town, the neighboring towns, the neighboring state.
So he signs up for this dystopian game show that is designed to punish criminals, right?
Yes.
That's the whole conceit of it is, and even if they're not criminals, they're just desperate, like our guy Ben, the network, which is the ominous name of, it would be kind of like our Illuminati, right? The ominous name of whoever's controlling everything is like warping reality through media to make it look like he's a criminal. And that's a big theme, and we'll talk about that later for sure. You got something to say about that?
Oh, I was going to say, my friend Bobby T was hyping it up.
Who's Bobby T?
Bobby T.
Bobby T?
Coleman Domingo.
Oh, yeah. The game show host.
But like he hyped up that these are the worst of the worst,
right,
even if they aren't the worst of the worst.
And there is a real reason for that, and that's probably the deepest thing this movie has to say is all that stuff that's going on, and we will get to that in deep themes for sure. In the novel, the game isn't an arena like it is in the Arnold movie. He's released into the real world. Hunters who are hitmen hired by the network and everyday citizens can turn him in. So it really... it's stunning to think that he wrote this in 1981 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because now this makes so much sense about a society that would easily be able to turn you in at all times. Everyone's got a walking video that they can instantly put on the internet and say, hey, look, I saw this guy. He's walking around here. You can't get away with anything today. There's video everywhere. And so it really fits for our current thing, and especially fits when you think about the network who controls everything through fake news, manipulated broadcasts, propaganda, and in overtly, this movie becomes a critique of how media can warp how we think, but also how it turns suffering into entertainment. And so... the ending, no spoilers. Well, there'll be spoilers.
If you tuned into this, that's on you.
But the ending of the book is different from this movie.
Oh.
So should I spoil that or no?
Yes. You've had almost 50 years to read the book.
So the biggest difference with the book and the movie to this is the book ends with a very, very dark twist where Ben Richards finds out his family has already been killed, just like he does in this movie. However, it's not just a swerve like in this movie where the network's just fooling with his mind. They actually killed him. And so as Richards is like dying in the cockpit from his brutal injuries of this jetliner, he slams it into the network building. And that is the end of the story. It's not framed as heroic. It's not a triumphant act. It's not meant to be a cathartic, yeah, you got him type thing. It's a broken man striking back at a broken system. It's tragedy. It's despair. And it's Stephen King saying, and if you build a world where the poor have no hope, don't be surprised when all they want to do is burn it down.
It's almost Shakespearean.
It is. It is. But it's very bleak as Stephen King can be, as we talked about in The Mist. But that wasn't his ending. It's so crazy to compare that ending from Stephen King to the Mist ending, which is more open-ended, like as if Stephen King was like, well, maybe they'll make it this time. I don't know. So it's a weird contrast. Clearly, Stephen King has good days or positive days and negative days.
It's also weird just looking at like the various stories that he has told and how vastly different they are.
Yeah. And so this story is all about this guy played by Glen Powell, very charmingly, very magnetically, but he is played as an everyman, and he kind of fights the system, and I don't know that he wins, although society maybe wins because he's used as kind of like a spark plug for revolution.
He is V.
And then, yes,
Vendetta.
V for Vendetta is the perfect thing to compare it to. And then at the end, we get this little hint that he's probably still alive.
Yeah.
And so, Cody, does the ending stick the landing? On a filmmaking level, did the ending work for you?
So, as we were watching this in the theater, I thought to myself, I wish they went dark like The Mist.
Yeah.
I said that to myself, and I didn't know that the book went dark. So I'm like, Edgar, why didn't you go dark?
Well, it's almost like, okay, so first of all, full backstory, Edgar Wright, huge fan of The Running Man. The original story, but also the Arnold movie, which we said are two very different stories.
Very much so.
And it seems like he couldn't decide. Or there's something about movies, too, where... Think about what we talked about with The Mist, where the movie company did not want that ending. And it came down to the filmmaker, Frank Darabont, just saying, well, I'm not changing it. That he had changed a lot. He caved on a lot, but he would not cave on that. And that makes the movie uniquely what it is, but the movie's not successful either.
No.
If we're being honest. And so... Now you think about this movie, and here's a dude who loves that story, both the original Stephen King version and the Arnold cartoonish Arnold version. And it's almost like he can't decide. Maybe he doesn't want to end it so bleak.
Also, leaves it open for a sequel.
That's also true, which is sort of obnoxious. Like, does everything have to be left open for a sequel? I'm kind of sad because I think the bleak ending keeps the message more intact instead of it just becoming of, rebellion. Yeah. You know?
And I also thought, is this ending the way it is because of the current political climate that we're in? Because I do feel that, not having read the book, I can't say for a fact, but I feel that there's definitely an influence of where we are in our polarized society right now, and the wealth disproportional distribution of it being a factor on how the movie is, or the story is being portrayed in this movie.
Cody unknowingly hits on a little preview to the Deeper Themes segment. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know these things.
All the stories we tell come with the writer's own context, right? Their beliefs, what they feel when they look out into the world, and that's a part of it. And I'm going to bring that up in Deeper Themes because I think it can be good and I think it can be bad, but we'll get there. Cody, what is good about this movie?
Of course, I'm going to say the cast. But I'm going to skip over Glenn for right now. So you got Lee Pace. Like, as soon as you reminded me of like what all he's been in, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why that voice sounded super familiar. Michael Cera in this is amazing.
We needed so much more Michael Cera. That's the worst thing I can say about Michael Cera's performance in this movie is he needed to be his sidekick for much longer.
Yes. And like, I kind of wish we got a little bit more of his mom.
She was fun.
And then Coleman Domingo. Bobby T.
Man, is he not amazing? Like, his role is somewhat small in this movie,
but it feels big.
Just owns everything when he's in the frames.
And then there is an actor who I had not seen since Dexter, and that is David Zayas. Or Zayas.
David Zayas? I don't know who that is. Oh, yeah. Okay. He played Richard Manuel, whoever that is.
So he was the first boss that when he goes with the baby and tries to get his job back.
Takes a sick baby in to try and curry emotional support there.
And control his temper.
Yes. He says specifically so he doesn't lose his temper. Which Glen Powell's character, the character of Ben Richards in this, I do think it's wildly entertaining that they make him have such a short fuse, because he does things that seem ridiculous, but if you've ever had a friend with a short fuse,
it's spot on.
it actually kind of is. You're like, dude, can we just a little restraint, please?
Nope.
And yeah, it's perfect for this movie because it makes him a flawed guy, which is what they need to be. Glen Powell, I have on my list of what's good. He is that guy now. He has that thing that you can't fake. I think he is the natural successor to Bruce Willis and that magnetic everyman energy that Hollywood tries to find. So once they had it with Bruce Willis, like, look, Bruce Willis has charm in Everyman because that dude became a star while he was 180 pounds and balding.
Yeah.
Like women adored Bruce Willis, but he was like a balding dude on Moonlighting and Die Hard, and nobody cared. Which normally that would be instant disqualification.
And yet he goes on to do Armageddon.
Yeah, he's got fake hair in Armageddon. But he's not Glen Powell in this movie. He's not a comic book superhero like Arnold or Sly. He's a guy who walks into a room and the camera, it seems like the camera's just following him because it wants to. It's just magnetic. So Powell gives Ben Richards vulnerability. So he has vulnerability. He's not like a Marine trained to like not show emotions. He shows lots of emotions. He's got grit. He's funny. He's hilarious just in his antics, but through his character. And the charisma, it just makes you root for him even when he's a very flawed character. He's got an anger problem. He's way too impulsive, which in this situation he's in is not good. Not good to be that impulsive. But this guy, I think, is the real successor to that Bruce Willis action archetype. Coleman Domingo steals every scene he's in, which this role, the smooth, cynical TV villain host, has been done before. Shout out Stanley Tucci in The Hunger Games.
I was going to say any Hunger Games movie.
Yeah, and because it's been done so much before, it could have been a pretty thankless gig. Like, how do you stand out? You show up, you monologue, you choose some scenery, whatever, you go home. It could have been very cardboard cutout, but Coleman Domingo injects it with this kind of perfect blend of manic charisma that's sort of performative, but also this charm. But then, like, in the moments where he's not on camera, he's got like this cynicism, and he seems like he kind of hates the system.
Yep.
But also is using it for his own advantage, right? And so he's got like this, and he plays it all with this kind of like preacher turned game show host swagger. It's like kind of a mix.
It's a unique bravado.
And he turns what could have been a cardboard cutout into a character who feels dangerously entertaining. He's kind of a wild card.
You can see why Josh Brolin keeps him on the network.
Yes. To use a wrestling term, he's a great heel.
Yes. Or a great manager for a heel.
Oh, yeah. Josh Brolin as the villain. Some actors, they have to try to be intimidating and try to have gravitas. I feel like Josh Brolin just rolls out of bed and is immediately intimidating and scary.
He's a little gruff.
And I can't believe I'm saying that about Brand from the Goonies. I can't believe this many years later that Brand from the Goonies turned into that guy, the guy who could be the voice of Thanos. And you know it's him, but also it fits, it works. He doesn't overact. He's not chewing scenery. He just kind of exists on camera, and you're like, oh, he's a problem.
Indeed. And
everything he does just seems so effortless, but wildly affecting in the movie. Perfect casting. I think he is perfect casting for that role. I also had Edgar Wright's direction. Edgar Wright, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. What other movies has he done?
Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
All the Simon Pegg, Nick movies. I'm drawing a blank now.
He does something in this movie that he doesn't always get enough credit for, which is kind of like playing it mostly straight without losing the style. So when you look at a movie like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, there's a lot of cool little tricks he gets to play with and special effects and video game style antics.
So Hot Fuzz is another one, but he did Last Night in Soho.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched that one, criminally underrated.
And so this movie, compared to some of those movies, is just a straight up action thing, but you still, when you're watching it, you still get the feeling that, oh, this is a special director doing his thing. He's got the punchy, rhythmic action sequences. He's got the second only to James Gunn and the needle drop, using the music as the needle drop moment. Kinetic camera work, like the camera work's great throughout. The action scenes are all filmed really well. It's good stuff, but it never becomes a parody. It never really gets wacky. He kind of threads the needle between stylish and silly.
I was going to say, as wacky as it gets is one of the things that I really liked, and that was Arnold Schwarzenegger's On the Money.
Yeah, which they offer no explanation for, by the way, which is perfect.
I didn't need one.
Yeah, it was like you're in the theater, you have that Leonardo DiCaprio meme moment, like, ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, Cody, what's not so good about the movie?
I don't know where to put this, so I'm going to put it here.
Okay.
But I feel my friend Glen Powell has been typecast.
Okay, go on. I'm willing to go with you on this ride.
Okay, so this is my hot take for the episode, I think. He seemingly plays quite frequently like this guy whose outer shell's a bit cocky, arrogant.
I believe the word is schmarmy.
That is definitely the word. And then underneath is, well, I really love and care. Even in Top Gun Maverick, I care.
Yeah.
But I have this outer persona and exterior that the world sees, and by George, everyone in the world's going to see. And like even Twisters.
Yeah.
And so I'm afraid that this is where he will be stuck, unless this is where he wants to be stuck, in which, again, Arnold and Sylvester weren't making Citizen Kane for the 80s and 90s, typically. Like, they were like, action movie? Check. Sign me up. Right.
I don't know if Bruce Willis ever escapes from the... Because, like, look, his character in Die Hard is schmarmy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a super likable guy when you first meet him. Him and his wife are having issues, and in Die Hard, he's not played as, like, the sensitive everyman guy that everyone would like.
No.
He clearly has a problem with authority and, just all sorts of clues in that movie that he's like that. And Moonlighting, he was schmarmy. So yeah, Bruce Willis, by the time he gets to Armageddon, he plays that character pretty much straight up. He's pretty likable in Armageddon.
Yeah.
But that takes a long time. And yeah, I would totally agree. Glen Powell has the charm to keep pulling this off, but it does seem like he's like, oh, he's the schmarmy storm chaser with the heart of gold. Now he's the schmarmy guy who's just trying to save his family with the heart of gold, right?
Yes.
I think you're probably right. And yeah, he might be in danger of getting a little typecast.
Yeah, so that was one of my, like, this might not be so good. The other thing, and it's up there for a hot take, I don't know if this is the best movie. Like, I think it might work better as a series. But, like, since it's supposed to take place over a month, and we only get to 18 days, but, like, you could have done probably a 10-episode series and had Glen Powell, which he does his Chad Powers series with Eli Manning. You could have got Glenn for that.
Yeah, think about this as like a Netflix series that they put down a chunk of money on, where they could have done it as a limited series. You understand, like, oh, right out of the gate, this is only going to be 3 seasons, right? We're sure of that. Then the first season is just this whole for what the movie covers. But you have like 12 episodes of like an hour to cover all this. And I think it solves a lot of the problems. Like, so one of the things I'm going to have a problem with is not enough Michael Cera, not enough, a lot of the side characters who are interesting.
Very.
And so I think there's this story, it does feel like it's just moving so fast. And you don't really get to sit in this world and understand why the world is a problem to begin with. Other than like, oh, these people are poor. It's broken down to like the lowest, simplest common denominator, right? And it's like, I think, as I'll explain in deeper themes, it becomes too good guys, bad guys, instead of a lot of the nuance that this story could have had.
Yeah.
With fleshed out characters.
Yeah. So those are the couple big things that I saw.
Yeah. So my not so good, what's not so good about this movie is going to play off that. Because I'm going to focus on a specific set of characters. And I'm going to talk about the hunters.
Oh.
I think the hunters in this movie are a total miss. To me, it's the worst part of the movie. So one of the smartest things the 1987 Arnold movie did was making the hunters feel like they were WWE supervillains.
Yeah.
Like they're all dressed in bright colors. They all have like kind of these action figure archetypes. They have theme music. Like literally there's fire guy, chainsaw guy, light up singing guy, right? Like, and they're all deadly. They all can kill you in a million different ways. They're literally written as kayfabe characters.
Yeah.
So like in the Arnold movie, Jesse Ventura, actual wrestler, plays like one of the most successful hunters of the Running Man show. And he's like backstage and not in character. So like they play them like wrestlers. They're playing a part, but also deadly killers. And so I think just by missing out on that, well, when you write them as characters like that and you understand there's a little kayfabe involved, you don't need depth to have them fleshed out a little bit. You don't need to show inner conflict. You get it. There's conflict in just the duality of it. You don't even need logic. They just had presence, and the audience understands that without really having to be told that. So this new film, where they play it more straight up, it doesn't really have that. The hunters here are nameless. They're personalityless. They're gimmickless. They don't have like we don't even know that they have any other strengths that some of them might not have. And they're storyless. They basically just become cannon fodder for Ben to kill.
There is one with the story, but you don't learn it till like the very end of the movie.
And I have serious problems with him, and I'm going to get to him. But they're basically faceless NPCs from like video games, shoot 'em up video games.
Although Lee Pace has a good voice.
He does.
In which he does get to deliver some one-liners, and that is probably my favorite part about the hunters is just like, oh, let's let Lee talk.
Yeah. But it seemed like they were so focused on him because he's wearing a mask and because Lee Pace has this distinct voice that was what was going to work the best. Well, let me tell you why it doesn't.
Uh-oh.
McCone, or McCon, I think they pronounce it McCon. He's supposed to be the apex predator.
Yes.
He's the big bad. He's the hunter who makes the audience, when he walks into the room or on screen, the audience should get on the edge of their seat and be like, oh, this guy's here. He's a problem. Just by looking at him, I can tell he's a problem. You know what the problem with that is, Cody? Nobody feels that when that dude walks in the room. He looks like he's a 6-foot dude who's about 180 pounds. Here's the problem. The movie wants you to believe that this guy is a terrifying, unstoppable force, but the casting director and the character design don't sell it. Issue number 1, Cody. I'm never convinced he's an actual threat. He's a good marksman. That's what we see of him. Great. So is every third thug in John Wick. Like, okay. So why does that make him intimidating? Everyone knows in an action film where this is going to end up. And it's not from afar.
Yeah.
It's close up, brutal mortal combat, hand to hand. That's where every action movie ends up. You know they're on a date for that. So none of that character design makes sense for me. It's going to be Richards versus McCann up close. And when that moment comes, we're looking at a hero who's supposed to be an everyman, and yet he's significantly bigger and more physically imposing than the villain. And I think that collapses the tension a little bit.
You need Michael Cera to be Ben Richards.
I mean, if you're going to pick Lee Pace. So look, nothing against Lee Pace. I think he's phenomenal. And yes, his voice is distinct, and I can even see their thinking. Because he wears a mask, they're like, we need someone with a distinct voice who gives him gravitas and character. Because they knew he didn't have enough character.
Yeah.
But the problem is you're focusing on the wrong aspects. They think voice will fix it since we can't see his face, instead of no. Ben Richards is an everyman. We need this guy to look physically imposing. And so that's my kind of problem with that is Lee Pace has a great voice. They cast him for that reason, but I think it's a mistake. The role needs a dude who enters a room and immediately makes everyone uncomfortable. Someone who looks like he could tear Glen Powell in half on accident. You know?
So what they should have done, if I'm hearing you correctly, there's a series on NBC or Peacock called Twisted Metal. And the guy that does the voice is Job on Arrested Development.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He is the voice of this big guy that is wearing a clown mask, but the big guy that's wearing the clown mask is Samoa Joe, who's a wrestler.
Oh, they pulled a Darth Vader.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so like you get this voice, and then you get this body,
Yeah.
and you get the total package, and so like. You could have gotten someone from WWE or AEW to stand there and then just paid Lee Pace to have his voice.
Yeah. I feel like the hunters they're the heart of the chase, which is the heart of this movie. And they're so bland. And you had this giant opportunity to build character-driven set pieces around their different personalities.
Will Arnett, by the way.
Yeah, Will Arnett. The different fighting styles, different gimmicks, and instead, all the hunters feel the same. And it's one of the areas where the Arnold movie from the 80s, I think, does a better job.
Oh, burn.
Yeah. But it's going to lead me right into the next segment, which is recasted.
Okay.
Cody, would you like to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. So obviously, you know where I'm going. I'm recasting McCann. Instead of Lee Pace, if there's one role in this entire movie that needs a redo, it's McCann. And honestly, this fix is so obvious. I'm imagining listeners yelling this out before I even get to it. Cast Alan Ritchson. Alan Ritchson from Reacher. He can do action that feels brutal and believable. Look at Reacher. Even look at Blue Mountain State, the goofy movie about the football team. He commits to the physicality of a role like it's his first language. Now imagine that final showdown with a guy like Alan Ritchson, who is huge. Glen Powell will look scrappy and like an athletic everyman versus Alan Ritchson's immovable force of nature. And now you have a fight that the audience is actually worried about. They're like, oh, this guy should wipe the floor with Glen Powell. It fixes the movie's biggest weak spot, with one casting change. McCann should have been iconic or at least memorably terrifying, and I think Alan Ritchson brings instant energy to that just with his physical presence. And it turns a flat villain into like kind of another headliner of the movie. Like you in the commercials for this movie, they didn't show that character hardly at all of McCann. Yeah. He's barely in any of the commercials for this movie. And there's a reason for that, because they knew.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I went a bit more off the beaten path.
Yes, go for it.
Chris Rogers. Nothing wrong with Chris Rogers. He actually does a decent job at what he's supposed to do. He's Bud, who is on the gerbil wheel game show.
The speed the wheel?
Yes. And so I just because I'm like,
don't you say me. Don't you say me.
No. I went Paul Walter Hauser.
Okay.
At first I thought it was him.
I did too. For half a second, it's like, is that Paul Walter Hauser?
And I was excited, and then it wasn't him, and then I was disappointed. It took me out of the whole scene. So
I'm glad you saw that, because I thought the same thing for a minute, and then I was bummed it wasn't him.
Yes. So that's who I'm recasting, just because I already had it as him. So
yeah. Okay. Deeper themes, Pastor's Corner. The big theme I want to talk about here, Cody, is how media controls humanity. Obviously, this is not a subject that's going to come as a shock to anybody today. Our media today, just like our media today, in the movie, the media is used to tap into something primal in humans. The network in the movie they're not brainwashing people with, some hidden signal or anything like that. They don't try to persuade anyone. They're actually giving the audience permission to feel virtuous. And there's something about that is very real world that we can tie to our world today. We use the term virtue signaling a lot because it is a real thing. Now it becomes a meme, just like fake news or woke or any other term we use. But it all goes back to the same thing. We're trying to feel like we're good people, and that people that don't see the world like us are bad people. And that's the weak point in our armor. And that's what this movie does a good job of showing. When we feel like we're good, we use judgment against the people the media wants us to use judgment against instead of empathy. So there's a crazy little thing is we can't be people who show empathy, but also be judgmental at the same time. And the controlling forces in this movie fool the people into thinking there's a good guy, bad guy dichotomy in the world, and it becomes easy to manipulate people into buying whatever it is they're selling. Now, here's the problem. Our media has this bit of truth about us in it. But this movie, even though it has this little nugget of truth in it, is still made by humans. So it still kind of misses the point. So there's a good guy, bad guy oversimplification here. Mm-hmm. Dystopian fiction falls hard for this. The bad guys are going to be represented by whomever the writer determines to be the bad guy in their context. These stories love neat, easy villains. And in our era's context, that is corrupt elites, crusty old politicians, and cartoonishly rich white men twirling invisible mustaches. That's just our current context.
It is.
And yes, those characters do mirror modern anxieties, but it also lets us, the people, off the hook a little bit, because the truth is actually messier and harder than that. Any system, any government style, any institution, any movement is going to drift toward corruption because humans drift toward corruption through the lens of self-preservation. We trick ourselves into thinking it's self-preservation. So it's not that there's just these awful, terrible humans that are controlling everything. It's not the elites. It's not the other side. It's just us. It's humans. People trying to protect themselves and their loved ones who will justify their actions because survival always feels righteous from inside our circumstances.
Just like the lady in the car in Glen Powell.
Yes, exactly. And this is why the systems crumble. Not because evil rises to the top, Cody, but because humans rise to the top. And humans are complicated. And I know this is long, but bear with me. I took a lot of time to write this out.
I can see.
It took me like an hour to write this out the way I wanted it. Like the Hunger Games and similar dystopian movies like this movie, The Running Man, it presents a world where the corruption is external. It's the rich. It's the powerful. It's the media conglomerate. It's these clear villain archetypes, which we do in our world and environment today. Now, that's cathartic to watch. But again, it's an oversimplified version of the truth because in the real world, the danger isn't the guy in the big office. It's the human impulse inside all of us. The impulse to defend our side, the impulse to justify our tribes, the impulse to feel morally superior to others, and the impulse to use judgment instead of using empathy. That's what the media exploits. That's what brings down governments. That's what societies fracture around. The real antidote, Cody, and here's where I'm going with all of this. It's not rebellion. It's actually humility. Here's the little thing we don't hear about our glorious stories about rebellion. Rebellion just starts the cycle over. A few generations down the road, the ancestors or the descendants of the rebellious people, they become the comfortable and the luxurious, and they defend it with any way they have to for their children, right? And it's just a cycle. We as a society need to see this because it leads back to humility, and that's the only place where we can truly exercise a non-performative and honest empathy, because there is a performative empathy that we like to do, and then we call it virtue signaling. Okay, that's my rant for deeper themes. And this movie's all over it, by the way, except for at the end of the day, it's Josh Brolin in an office who's the big bad, right?
Yeah. You have to have a face.
Yes, in a movie, in a story, that's why we like these stories, because there has to be some big evil guy. The problem is in the real world, the big evil guy is right inside our hearts. We just pretend like he's not there. All right. Who's your winner of the movie?
It is Bobby T. Coleman Domingo.
Yeah.
Bobby.
He's so good, man.
Like, honestly, until you said how long the runtime of this movie was, I thought he had been in a good chunk of the movie. He really wasn't.
No. Yeah, I like Coleman Domingo. And I thought about several different options here. I'm still going to go with Glen Powell because I think this is the film where he officially kind of levels up from schmarmy charming guy to schmarmy charming action star guy, which in the entertainment world is a big deal. He is the next great everyman action lead. And I don't mean everyman as in boring. I mean it in the Bruce Willis sense. Scrappy, charismatic, but somehow still vulnerable, still cool, even when he's showing the vulnerability. Powell is not Arnold or Sly, which is exactly why he works in this situation. He does have a lot more in common with a guy like Val Kilmer. But does he have the acting chops to compete with like Val's career? We'll see. Will he get those opportunities? We'll see.
That's another question.
But this movie rises or falls on whether you care about Ben Richards, and I think that's on Glen Powell, and I think it does. It works. It's not a perfect movie, but he is very magnetic, very entertaining, and I think he's the one that makes the movie go. Who's your loser of the movie?
William H. Macy.
Oh, another great actor. There's so many good actors in this movie, and they get like so little time.
You get like 10 seconds of William H. Macy, and then you get another like 5 seconds of him being tortured.
Glen Powell just kills him. His character basically kills that guy.
Yeah.
Who's helping him out, and he knows he's going to die. Brutal. Just brutal.
Also, like, William, if you know the guy has a sick kid, give him his work outfit a day earlier.
Yeah, right. Yeah, before all this started. Like, Yeah, that was one of those moments where I was going to give you a job. Where if he does that the day earlier, then the credits run and there's no movie.
Yes. Or we're watching a different Running Man.
My loser of the movie is Michael Cera. Same reasons. It's because he's so awesome, and he strolls into this movie with all that Michael Cera energy, the awkwardness, but earnest. He's also kind of slightly unpredictable and chaotic, even though he's got like all this nerd energy.
He's the one that pushes the button that alerts the authorities.
He's funny without really breaking the tone of who his character is supposed to be, which is like this underground rabble rouser.
Hot dog cart.
And then he's gone way too soon. It's like the movie accidentally cast the perfect complementary sidekick character and then said, anyways, back to Glen Powell, which isn't necessarily a terrible thing, but this is all again where if this was a TV series, it might have worked a lot better.
We would have got a good 5-episode arc out of Michael Cera.
Yeah. How many speed wheels out of 10 are you giving this movie?
So on the action movie scale, it gets an 8. On the quality of movie scale, it gets a 6.5.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's exactly where I'm at. 6.5. It's above average. I felt like I didn't waste my money going to the theater. I had a good time. It has just enough depth to some meat to really grab onto. And he's charming, but there is some serious issues with the execution, in my opinion.
Yes.
To keep it from being just a classic movie you revisit.
I mean, I'll probably watch it again sometime, but
yeah,
I'm not going out of my way.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it again. Tell us what you thought of The Running Man if you've seen it. We had a good time watching it, but we'd like to hear your thoughts and where you would put it. How many speed wheels out of 10 you'd give it. Let us know in the social media posts for this episode. Now it is time, Cody, for us to take a trip out to the lobby.
Chocolate covered raisins.
All right. That's gross. We'll see you in a minute.
Welcome to the lobby.
All right, Cody, we are out in the lobby. I wish we had some background noise to pipe into this. Like there were people just hanging out here after the show.
I just want random movie quotes that don't go together.
He's an absurdist at heart, ladies and gentlemen.
I am.
We're out here to get some snacks and maybe a beverage and to answer listener questions.
To the best of my abilities.
So let's just get right to it. Scott Patrick Dillon, Geek of the Round Table, Indianapolis, Indiana, tattoo artist. Our listeners are very eclectic.
Colts fan?
I don't know. He's not from Indiana, is he?
We'll
have to ask him. Scott, are you a Colts fan? Let us know. What are all the categories of Cody? He asks. He says contrarian. There's contrarian Cody, capitalist Cody, communist Cody.
Communist Cody is fun and also underutilized.
He's very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare. We have our ever-growing merch stickers from the Codyverse run. And that's capitalist Cody, contrarian Cody, communist Cody, and hot take Cody. Hot take Cody's the only one that doesn't have the alliteration going on.
No.
I did think of one the other day. The Cody that wants to just come in here and solely mess up the pod. What you so lovingly call espionage or sabotage.
Yes.
That's chaotic Cody. He loves chaos. That's a new sticker, by the way. We're going to design that one.
He's a wild card.
Is there any other Cody identities?
Oh, there's a ton of them. Which Geek of the Round Table Jackson and I started listing off a couple as we were talking about a potential Christmas episode. And cantankerous Cody is one. Conscientious Cody is another, but I'm a living being, and so I ebb and flow. There'll be new versions of me on later shows. You just got to keep tuning in.
This is true. Cantankerous Cody is definitely the opposite of conscientious Cody.
They are polar opposites.
Will Strotz, our friend Will, he's a drummer, traveling drummer. He was with the band that came with Sean Rodriguez's crew.
See.
And he from Nashville. I don't know if that's. I'm pretty sure it's not where he's originally from, but I think that's where he lives now. He asks, if you could have any actor or filmmaker on the pod, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's a good question.
There's so many, like, just from someone who has a podcast. Like, I would love to have, like, of course, the big names.
So I got two names.
Okay.
One is my dear close personal friend Marty Scorsese, just because he has made several movies and he is just chock full of hot takes. He's like, that's not cinema, and then this is cinema, and I'm like, oh, Marty. So I think he'd be a good guest, and also seeing his daughter's TikTok videos that he stars in, it kind of humanizes Marty, and we would further humanize him. But the one that I think would be a great guest, because I have seen him on podcasts, he's been in some interesting shows and movies, and I've already mentioned him once on the pod tonight, Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah, it'd be really fun to have him.
He's
on
a
the
wrestling
pod.
fan also.
Yeah, he's a guy we would love to have on the podcast because he's like us.
Yes.
You can tell he's a guy who just kind of likes all the geek stuff and wrestling, and he just gets into all that. And he's also like us in the aspect of we don't take life over seriously. He's pretty laid back, seemingly.
Mole Man.
Yes, and he played the Mole Man in Fantastic Four. I don't know. Well, when I think of it, there's the obvious things of like, well, because it's a podcast and it'd be good for the podcast, it'd be great to have anyone big on, like Marty Scorsese. Like, that would be huge for us. But as someone who has, like, I've done radio stuff and I do this podcast, as someone who's interviewed people before, I think I will apply my favorite kind of people to interview to this question, which is, I just want people that want to have a conversation. It's so hard to do an interview when they're not people who really want to have a conversation. They're just doing it for a job or because they're trying to promote something. Like, think of like maybe a guy like Bill Murray, who just seems to be himself everywhere he goes, who just likes to talk to people.
Likes to, maybe. There's times that he's a bit cantankerous. I was thinking my friend Weird Al.
Weird Al. Yeah, another great example. But cantankerous Cody is usually reserved for older people. But it doesn't mean they're not people who will engage you in conversation.
So you just made me think of this, and this is just a bonus thought that no one asked for. If they remake Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men, get Bill Murray.
Oh my goodness, he would be great as the Walter Matthau character.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that'd be wonderful. Yeah, we need to come up with a whole idea for a Grumpy Old Men remake. But like the guy I'm thinking of, my last guy, would be Harrison Ford.
Harry?
Who seems very cantankerous, but when you get him in that position and he's having a conversation, one, he's super open. He'll tell you what he's thinking, which is kind of dangerous as an interviewer, but also kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I want guys that are going to be real, that they're going to talk about what's really on their mind, talk about what their life's like. And how much he hates that he was in Star Wars.
He also is in Kansas quite a bit.
Yeah, he's a pilot, so he'd come to Wichita quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been seen there. Yeah, good question, Will. David Allen, our friend from Florida, he says, I've been saying for years that a Zelda movie, Legend of Zelda, movie done right will be the Lord of the Rings style epic the video game movie genre has been waiting for. Now that it is happening, what do you guys think? We saw some of our first images from the production in the last couple days.
Yeah. Like, I get the video game hype of like, oh, we're going to adapt this video game into a movie, Super Mario, all that jazz.
But live action.
Yes. I don't know if it's going to work well. I have some reservations about it.
Yeah. I feel like we're raining on David's parade because I know how much of a fan he is of Zelda. But I feel the same way. Like if they were doing a cartoon with a slightly different style, but the same energy of the Super Mario Brothers cartoon movie that came out a couple years ago, I would be much more bullish on its prospects.
So,
but I think there's a lot of pitfalls of live action.
I think live action, again, this might be a better series than a movie.
Yeah.
Try it like the One Piece Netflix series.
Yeah.
Where you're adapting something beloved, and some of the Zelda games, especially when you get to the GameCube on, kind of feel more anime-ish.
Yeah, what I love about what they did with the live action One Piece is they don't lose that anime energy.
Yes.
With the live action, it seemed to be their mission to kind of keep that energy, which that's all I'm saying with the live action. My concern is you play it like, I think the biggest mistake they can make is just play this straight up like it's a fantasy epic. Like it's Lord of the Rings. But here's the problem, David. It's not Lord of the Rings. It's gotta retain its identity. And I think that's what's the Super Mario Brothers cartoon taught us is if you retain the identity of the fun that people had playing that game, then it will be enjoyed by the people who are big fans and want to watch it. So whatever this means, because David has played more hours of Zelda than I have, because I stopped playing after the Super Nintendo version. But it has to retain the identity of the game. It can't just be straight up fantasy epic, a la Lord of the Rings. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I'm down for more Lord of the Rings type adventures. I just don't know if it works with a video game.
Yeah, we'll see. I want the best for it.
Yes,
but
I'm rooting for it.
I'm cautiously optimistic. But I'll be praying for you, David. All right. As usual, go find our lobby posts on our social media as well, so you can ask us questions and maybe get shouted out here on the pod. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.